Okay, hi, good afternoon everyone.
Good afternoon.
Okay, thank you for taking time off to be here with us this afternoon. And this afternoon's session is all about a life transforming business. We'll be introducing you the company behind this business, as well as some distributors who have been in the business for duration, and we will be sharing with you our reasons on why we are here. Okay, so first I'd like to invite our very first speaker, Dr. James Chia. Dr. James Chia has a PhD in civil engineering. After many years in construction, he switched to financial planning. Within the first year, he was one of the top financial planner, and short duration of time, he was one of the top producer in Southeast Asia region. He was a lieutenant colonel in NS Men Guards Unit and was National Serviceman of the Year in 1995. He has Masters in Applied Finance as well as CFP and CFA qualification. So in 2001, he was introduced to NUS Business, and since then till now, he's one of our 10 $1 million Circle member and team lead. So let's welcome James.
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you for being here. Okay, just to repeat my background. Okay, so I did national service like every male, and I liked it so much. I actually wanted to make the army my career, but I thought better get a degree in case I forgot to salute someone or made a mistake. Okay, so I went to study civil engineering. Okay, by the time I finished studying, I was 29 years old. I finished with a PhD in civil engineering, came back and I worked in the construction sector. Now, at age 40, I remember I hadn't been on leave for 5 years. I was bored, I was looking for a challenge. So I dropped it all and I went to sell life insurance. Okay. Now at that time, you didn't need any qualifications to sell life insurance. You didn't even need O levels and all that. Okay, it was really the riff-raff selling life insurance. Okay, all you needed to do was wear a tie. Okay. So anyway, I went back to school. I went to NUS. I did a master's in applied finance, and I got my CFA qualifications and then my chartered financial planner qualifications. Okay. And went on to do quite well in the industry. Now, in 2001, beginning of 2001, this gentleman entered my life. This guy called Tan Jun Wen. A bit of a background about Jun Wen. Okay, so Jun Wen grew up poor. In fact, his mother was a cleaner for the British Army, and he likes to say that family of 8 of them, they shared one toilet. Okay, so he wanted a better life. Okay? So he went to a good school. He went to Raffles Institution. He did well enough to get a government scholarship to study overseas. He came back, and then if you have a government scholarship, you serve this 8-year bond. But he wanted a lot more. So after 4 years, he broke his bond with the Singapore government and went out to do stockbroking. So when he called me in 2001, he'd been in stockbroking maybe 14, 15 years. He was 42 at that time. And he lived in this home that he built when he was 34 with money made from stockbroking. So when he called me, he said NUS had just come into Singapore and that he'd signed up to do the business. I did a double take. Why is a guy like him, wanting to do what I thought was a housewife business? Okay. At that time, I thought like selling Tupperware, But so I was curious. So I listened to him, and he said that one of his biggest clients, an American fund manager called Robert Howe, was the one that introduced NUS to him. Now Bob went to Yale University, has an MBA from Harvard, and at that time he was president and chief investment officer of AIG in Japan. So I looked at these two men, financially savvy people, what I call smart money, and they were involved in this business. I said, there's something more to it than that. Better find out. Okay. Now at that time, I was very busy with the financial planning. I was working 12, 14 hours a day, and I didn't really have time to check this thing out. But the good thing about being married is you have a wife. So I asked my wife, Jackie, would you mind going to check this out? And frankly, she was quite reluctant. She was reluctant for two reasons. The first reason was the year before I introduced her to some scheme involving gold and all this, and it was it was a scam. Okay, so my financial advice doesn't register very highly with her. But I think the main reason was we had 3 kids at that time who were very young in school, very active in sport, and she was doing what the mother does, run them from one activity to the other. And the last thing she wanted was another job at night, because this is something you do after office hours. But I think she wanted to see this house, so she said, yes, I'll go. And I remember those days, the early days, there were 4 other people there, just 5 of them. But she came back, she said, hey, to me, this is a serious business, you better find out. So I set aside some lunch times, for a week. I went, talked to Junwen, and after that came back to Jackie and said, $1 million a year is a certainty, let's do it. Now, as a finance person, nothing is a certainty, and that was 18 years ago. Okay, but today, the fact that I'm standing here, I'm even more certain than ever. Okay, so I wrote this book, The Financial Planner's View, and after just 1 year doing Nu Skin. Okay, I didn't have very much experience, but I had a lot of experience in financial planning, and I knew a good financial plan when I saw one. Okay, so this is what I saw. Okay, the current reality was that if you have a job, it's 100% of your own effort, and that's high risk, because if anything happens to you, who feeds your spouse, who feeds your children, who feeds your parents? So most people know this today. So they go and do a little business. Okay. Now, if you do business today, you're basically working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, because with the internet, everyone knows what you're doing. So you're trying to keep ahead all the time. Okay. You just look at your mobile phones. I don't buy a screen protector to my phone anymore, because before you can get scratched, a new model has come out. So people are competing like nobody's business. Okay. So if you're in business, basically there's no rest. Okay. You're working 24/7. That's not a good situation to be. Okay, when you're 20, but if you're looking at 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, you don't want an income model that's high risk and low rest. Okay. So then you go forward to your late 40s, 50s, you've got this sandwich class, okay, where the 2 sides of the sandwich are your children and your parents. Okay. Now, many parents, if they wanted to send their children to a course of their choice, you probably have to go overseas, because you got 3 children, overseas education. That's very costly. Okay, the only thing worse than having 3 children is that you got 4 parents. Okay, and they are at the age where it's not a cough and cold anymore. There are those illnesses that keep them in hospital for some time. Okay, and what about you at late 40s, early 50s? What about your job and your business? You're basically it's tough. Okay, and you're an endangered species, or you're at risk, because you're competing with a 25, 30-year-old. Now, then you have this issue, okay, which was highlighted a long time ago in 2007. The fact that Singaporeans are living longer, but they suffer 8 years of poor health. So what has changed? Okay, so this is the most recent article, 20th of June 2019. What has changed is that we're actually living even longer now. The average life expectancy is 84.5 years, but now we're now suffering 10 years in poor health before we die. Okay, so I as a financial planner, I think about the future. Okay, I worry about the future, and what is that? You need to imagine. Okay, so imagine old age in the last decade. Okay, so if this is yourself, okay, obviously there's suffering. You're immobile. Most of us see ourselves as very active. You're going to be immobile. The medical bills, and the only consolation is that if you've got dementia and all that, you probably don't know what's happening to you. Okay, what these fellas do, okay, your family will do. So you're going to be a burden to the family. Okay, there's going to be loss of time. No, if now when you're working, you hardly see your children because they're so busy. Can you imagine the burden you're going to be on them when you need care? Okay, medical bills, and of course, missing grandpa and grandmother, patron and matron. Okay, that's a real horrible situation. Okay, but it's going to be the reality for the majority of people. So why do network marketing? Okay, very, very simple. An American billionaire, J. Paul Getty, said, I'd rather earn 1% from 100 people than 100% from my own effort. Because 1% from 100 people is what I call low risk. Okay? If anything happens to me, there's 99 other people working to feed my spouse, working to feed my children, working to feed my parents. But of course, no one plans for these things to happen. Okay, so if it doesn't happen, okay, you want to go on leave for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, and there's 99 other people working to feed your spouse, your children, and your parents, and that's what I call high risk. So that's the perfect model, low risk, high risk. And how does that happen? Because of this thing called leverage. Okay, so what is leverage? Leverage is just more than one. So I give an example. I'm married, okay, I have leverage on my wife to go to listen to the talk, but leverage is just more than one. Okay, so let's say I find 3 people who are interested to do the business. I show them how to do the business, and I help them to find 3 people. That's 9, 27, 81, 243, 729. That's 1092. Let's round it off to 1,000. So let's say we got 1,000 partners, and let's say each one just sells $2,000 a month. So imagine Jim Wen was invited, this government scholar was invited to do a business where his turnover, monthly turnover, personal turnover is only $2,000. But there's 1,000 now. 1,000 times 2,000 is 2 million. Let's assume the company pays 5%. Okay, 5% times 2 million is $100,000 a month. Okay, that's more than just a normal retirement plan. Okay, in fact, it's for a business. Imagine you have a business that generates $100,000 a month with no capital, no overheads. Okay, no experience, and the best thing of all, you can do it part-time. Okay, you can do it part-time. Okay, there's no opportunity like this. Okay. So in 2000, when I came to the business, I came across this book written by an American Professor Charles King, and he talked about the rise of network marketing as the next major profession. Now, this is what he said in the preface. We will show you how the old employment model is breaking apart. Only the foolish, complacent, or lazy refuse to see it and seize the opportunities to protect themselves and their families. So many people, avoid these schemes because they think they're get-rich-quick schemes. No, this is a protection scheme. It's your plan B. Okay, it's your life insurance. Okay. So this is my family in 2008. I show this because after 2008 they went overseas. Okay, so my eldest son Chris went overseas to study. Daniel, on your left there, with his haircut, he was in national service, about to go overseas, where he spent 9 years. Gail was about to go to SMU, and both of us, we were in our 50s at that time. So we got 40, 50 years of retirement ahead of us. So what's our risk profile? Okay, the answer is called low. Okay, so we can't afford to take risks. But that was 2008. Okay, I'd seen New Skin for 7 years. Okay, and that 7-year itch that comes from marriage, that was actually a 7-year addiction. I'd seen enough to say, hey, I can go with this company. So that was the time that I gave up all my professional engineering licenses. I was registered to practice in the UK and Singapore. I gave up all my MES financial licenses, and my only source of income was New Skin. Okay, so what I want you to do now is just to examine the company. Is this a company that you can trust? Are these products that people are going to want? Okay, who are the people getting involved in this business, and what kind of lifestyle could you have? Okay, because most of us are going to spend more years sort of relaxing than working in the rat race. Okay, so that's an important factor.